spring bunnies, or whatever season you're watching this, welcome. My name's Coco. Thanks for joining me here today. I thought I would make this video to go over the niyamas of samtosha, contentment, and tapas, self-discipline. So I want to get into these niyamas a little bit so that we can take a look at ourselves. We can have this idea of self-observation of how we interact, how we think, how we react to things, just so that we can bring an awareness to our energy exchange with everybody and everything, right? We want to dive into our mortality here so that we can get to know ourselves a little bit better, so that we can interact with kindness and love and truly be authentic about it. Nice, so coming to a nice seat here, feeling free to grab whatever props or bolsters or blocks you need. For today's practice, we will be doing a 60-minute basic class, good for all levels, all ages. So coming to a seat on our mat, feeling free to come into an easy seat, Sukhasana, crossing the legs, maybe bringing one in front of the other, maybe extending the leg out here. The only thing I'm asking from you is that you root your sit bones into the ground and find length in your spine, all the way from the tail to the crown. Right, bringing the hands onto the lap here, palms up for energy, palms down for a little bit more grounding. And maybe gently close the eyes here, just soften the gaze here, just to help us dive a little bit deeper in for the next few breaths. So noticing the temperature around you and the noises, maybe any sensations the body is trying to tell you. And then actively coming into hearing your breath here, to feeling the breath come in and out through your nose or mouth, to the coolness of the air that you're breathing and the heat as it's leaving. Today we're just going to focus on finding spaciousness and opening up. And getting into this idea of getting to know our story so we can see the narratives we tell ourselves as stories, and so that we can see what is truly reality. So this idea of contentment, samtosha, it's not only coveting possessions, ideas, status, wealth, but it's about feeling and hearing and smelling and tasting and seeing all there is right here, and that being enough. So on our next inhale, let's shrug our shoulders up towards our ears, and exhale, roll them down and back. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up, feel the body lengthen. Feel how that sensation is kind of like a relief, and exhale it out. On this next inhale, shrug the shoulders up, and on your exhale, let go of anything that's not serving you right here and right now. Gently coming back into your normal breath. Deepening your consciousness in your body, so that we can cultivate contentment. All right, this idea of cultivating contentment. Contentment is being present in the moment and that being enough. Not listening to these stories, which can be difficult, especially if your personal story is filled with challenges and difficulties. But instead, being content with the circumstances life gives us. Nice. Gently blinking open the eyes here. Beautiful. Bringing the hands to the knees if they aren't all there already. And we're going to take a couple minutes of slow body circles, like super slow. So grabbing onto the knees, rooting into the sit bone, And begin to find length as you lean to the side. Breathe into any tightness as you come forward. Exhale as you come to the other side and back. Moving like molasses here, moving super slow. The Yoga Sutras say that contentment brings unsurpassed joy. Contentment can't be forced or found. It cannot be made to happen. Contentment is a practice of being with what is before us right now. So just noticing the noises around you. The sight you have in front of you, right? And not listening to the stories, like all the dog hair on the floor. Well, I am so lucky to have a floor and a dog to make that mess. So just coming out of these stories here, and we're going to reverse the circle. Nice. And being here, right now. Like you can notice those judgments, but instead of having negative self-talk, choose peace. Each time the story begins to unfold in your head, see what's happening and choose peace. One more circle here. And slowly coming up to center. Nice. Grabbing a block if you have one, or a stack of books, or anything. We're going to bring the block down on our right hand side. Place it about a foot away from our body. We're going to inhale the left arm up as we bring the hand up to the block. Finding length here, we're going to exhale and begin to find a nice side body bend here. This can look like a micro bend. This can look like a nice deep bend. What I want you to focus on is keeping your sit bones rooted into the ground. And then wherever you're at, begin to gently spiral your ribs up towards the ceiling, opening the heart. Reaching through the fingertips. Yeah, taking a nice deep breath here for this nice deep stretch. And being content wherever you are in your yoga journey, in your life. Maybe you're all the way touching the ground. Maybe you can barely lift your hand. Being content with that, the idea that all these circumstances that we have undergone in our life have brought us to this exact moment. Taking one more inhale here. And exhale, slowly come up. We'll bring the hands on top of the shoulders here, and we'll just circle the elbows towards the front of the room and then to the back. Taking nice big circle rolls. And then reverse the circle. Yeah. Being nice and gentle with our body here. And not trying to force contentment, right? We can't force contentment. Releasing the hands down, switching the side of the block. Bringing the hand onto the block. Inhale, reaching that right arm up. And then exhale, rooting into the sit bones. Begin to find that nice deep bend here. Spiraling the ribs up towards the ceiling. Taking the gaze up there if that's in your practice. And deep breathing here to open up. To release any of the tension or gripping that we kind of subconsciously do. Nice. And not yearning to be someone else or somewhere else, but happy that you made the choice to hit play on this video and take some TLC for yourself. Knowing that contentment is a choice of all things. It can't be forced. It can't be found. It's a choice. A way to choose to be. Taking one more nice deep breath here. And slowly making your way back up. Nice. Breathing into the sit bones here. We'll bring the block right out in front of us. There's 3 settings, so we have the flat, the medium, and the high. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, finding length as we reach the hands towards the front of the room, and slowly come down, placing the head onto a block. If you're super open, coming all the way down to the ground. If you're finding yourself a little tight, feeling free to bring the block right up onto your feet and just have a little support underneath your chest, dropping the chin to the chest here. And breathing in, opening up. Yeah. Surrendering into the ease. As if nothing more is needed to make this moment okay or not. Contentment, like I said, is a choice, but it starts here and now in the present by noticing judgment and by not assigning the idea of I like or don't like, something is good or bad, but by noticing that judgments of the mind separate us from reality. That the stories that we tell ourselves are just stories. Yeah. So instead of your default being, this is hard, I can't do this, maybe changing it around a little bit and saying, this is difficult, let's see how I can deal with it today. Taking one more nice deep breath here. Rooting down into the sit bones, we'll rise all the way back up. Reaching the arms up, taking the gaze up. Nice. We're going to bring the hands behind the head here. And we're just going to open up the elbows to the outside of the room. And take the gaze up. Rooting in the sit bone here. Opening in the chest. And then release the hands behind us. Nice. We're going to bring the fingertips facing the body as our palms come into the ground. Bringing the knees about hip width distance apart. All 4 corners of the feet on the ground. We're just going to take that back bend a little bit deeper. Opening up the chest. Letting the head fall back. Not cranking in the neck here. If you feel any pain or discomfort, backing off. But just opening up in the throat chakra so that we are able to say, I am content. I choose peace. This is enough. One more breath here. Gently tuck the chin. We're going to bring the hands around the thighs here and gently curl over our legs. Feeling free to wrap around however feels good so that you can really pull yourself in. Finding that nice curve in the spine. Dropping the head. Yeah, and being content with whatever this looks like right here and right now. So this idea of contentment, right? We have to cultivate contentment. And then our mind is obviously planning for the future, looking at the past, so then we have to pull ourselves back and cultivate contentment. So it's a practice, just like yoga. We have to constantly be working on this idea of being here and being present and this being enough. Then the mind wants to repeat its old habits and patterns. So pulling the mind back, it's good to plan for the future and think about the past. But right here on our mat, just noticing the sensations of the body, the opening that's happening. One more breath here. And we're going to gently release out. We're going to come into staff pose. So bringing the legs out in front of us. Really flexing the toes up to the ceiling. Feeling the heels nice and hooked into the ground. We're going to bring the hands alongside of us. Take the gaze towards the front of the room. Drop the shoulders from the ears. And just sit up here. I'm looking at my dog right now who looks very content taking a tiny little dog nap. only we can be content like puppies. Nice, and pause and breathe here all the way down your spine, all the way to your toes. Drop your consciousness into your body here, and we'll take a look over our right shoulder. Try to keep the ears stacked over the shoulders, stacked over the hips. Dropping the shoulder away from the ear, feeling that opening begin to happen in the neck and shoulders. Coming back through center, taking a breath. And exhaling, turning the gaze towards the left side of the room. Peeking over that back shoulder if that's in your practice. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, even here. Yeah. Again, practicing not listening to the judgments of the mind, because these judgments separate us from reality, what truly is. One more breath here. Nice. We'll gently bring our legs out to a little V here. Yeah, just so if you put your arms up, you're making just like a slice of a pie, right? I should add a mathematical term there, but whatever. Bringing the hands to either side of the front foot, the right leg. We're going to point the right toe, rooting into our sit bones, and starting to bring our awareness to our core and our inner thigh here. We're going to lift and lift. And lift, and 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, and 1. Set the foot down, point and flex the toe, pop toward the knee. We'll take the hands over to the left leg, pointing the toe, rooting into the sit bones, finding length in the spine. Our awareness is at our core as we lift, and lift, and lift. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Point and flex the toes a few times. Pop toward that knee. Nice. And we'll gently just bringing our hands to the left or right side. We're going to come onto our hands and our knees. Coming into tabletop. I feel like this is the pose I come most into. This is the asana I come into most in all of my practice, right? So integrating the hands, really spreading out the fingers here, finding the palms lift up and away as they push into the earth, feeling the shoulders protract away from the earth here, and the toes can be either, you can come onto the tops of the toes, or you can bring your tops of the feet on the ground. Drawing the belly button into the spine here, we're just going to start to wiggle the hips back and forth. And then begin to circle the hips. Yeah, just like we're taking little oval circles from the side to the top. And then switching the circles. Nice. We're going to come into cat-cow, dropping the belly, taking the gaze up. Finding the belly arching towards the ground as we're pushing through the hands, protracting the shoulders. Exhale, curl everything in, arch the back up, take the gaze towards the thighs. And keep moving here through these cat and cows. And I want to talk about the idea of tapas. This idea of austerity or willpower, self-discipline. Now this idea of doing what we have to do to have a positive effect on our life, even when it's hard. Yeah, maybe getting a little funky with these cat-cows. Just finding flexion and extension of the spine. So the idea of tapas, the root word in Sanskrit means to tap, to burn, to burn away the impurities. This invokes a sense of like fiery passion or burning away, cultivating a sense of self-discipline to help us mentally, physically, and emotionally. So that doesn't mean like we're killing ourselves on our mat. We're like working out every day until we're crying, right? What it means is, it means making time to come to the mat, to meditate, to be still and observing the mind, even when it's hard, even when we don't feel like it. So this idea of tapas, of self-discipline, keep coming back. Keep coming back to what's good for us so that we can have a positive effect on our future and our present. Taking 2 more rounds here. Nice, beautiful. Nice, so rooting down into the hands. We're going to inhale, reach the right foot up like we're stamping our foot on the ceiling here. Our knee is in line with our hips. We're spreading out through the fingertips. We're finding a little bit of balance here. And then we're just going to pump that foot up. And go, and go, and go, and go. We're just kicking the ceiling, stamping the ceiling, working into our glutes, tapping into this fiery heat, burning away what's not serving us. Yeah, burning away any impurities. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that knee down. Nice. Maybe take a C shape to the right and to the left. Coming back to center. Spreading out through the hands. Finding that left leg lifted. Bringing the foot up towards the ceiling. Keeping the knee in line with the hip first. And then begin to lift from the back of the leg, the back of the thigh, the glutes. Yeah. Stamping the foot on the ceiling. Trying here to keep the hips square to the mat. Nice. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Setting that knee down. Taking a nice little C shape again. Nice. Beautiful. We're going to come into bird dog. So extending the right hand forward. Extending the left foot out. We're spreading the fingertips wide. The thumb is up towards the ceiling. The toes are flexed down. Even take a little peek to make sure the leg's not too high or low. It's in line with the hips here. Yeah, protracting that left shoulder up towards the ceiling. Lifting. Using the core. Yeah, maybe adding on. Reaching around for a sock, a pant leg, the foot. And releasing out with control. Yeah. Nice. Setting up for the other side. Extending the left hand forward. The right leg back. Finding length all the way from the fingertips to the toes. Yeah, doing this to have a positive effect on our life even when it's hard. Right? And maybe this might kind of contrast with the idea of samtosha, of contentment. But no, we can reel it in here, right? We can be content with how we feel and are dealing with our breath here, even when it's hard. So we can practice samtosha right here as we practice tapas. Maybe adding on, reaching around, finding a bind, and then releasing out. Nice. We'll take the knees out wide, the toes touching, and we'll find child's pose here. Setting the head down, letting the belly drop between the legs. Maybe gently swaying side to side to bring movement to the hips. Maybe bringing a block underneath the hands, the wrists, maybe underneath the forehead. Doing what feels good and right for you right here. Listening to the body. Not listening to those stories, those narratives we cycle ourselves into, but listening to what the body wants. And I'm telling you, my body wants to open up. My body wants to create more space so that I have room to grow. Nice. Taking two nice deep breaths here. So nice. And gently coming up when you're done with those breaths. We'll walk the hands forward, set the belly and chest down, coming into Sphinx pose. Bringing the forearms out in front of us. So that the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders and they're really close to the chest, right? But they're about, shoulder width apart. They're parallel to one another. The hands are spreading out. We're rooting into the pelvis and all the way into the toenails. We're lengthening the neck and we're sending our breath to our lower back here. Nice. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Not listening to the voices, burning away negative thoughts so that we can have more self-confidence, we can feel powerful, we can dig into that root chakra here. Nice. And slowly come all the way down. Hopefully you can see me here. Beautiful. So we're going to set the forehead on the ground and bring the legs out to the bottom corners of the mat and the arms out to the top corners of the mat. Coming into this tiny little X. Nice. Staying here. Nice. We're going to inhale, reach the right leg up as we reach the left arm up. And set it down. And up, both at the same time. And down. And up. And down. And 3, 2, 1. Set the leg and the arm down. Move the hips around a little bit. We'll take it to the opposite side. Inhale, reaching the right arm up, the left leg up. Pointing through the foot here. And setting it down. And up. Down. Keeping up with the breath. Exhaling as you set down. Inhale, lift up. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Bringing the arms out to either side of you so they're in cactus arms. The palms are facing down. The elbows are in line with the shoulders here. Yeah, nice. Beautiful. We're just going to come into some W lifts. So we're just going to inhale, lift the shoulders and the chest away from the mat. And exhale down. Inhale, lift up. And down. And up. Down. Up. Rooting into the pelvis. If you feel any pinching in your lower back, back off a little bit. Don't lift up as high. If you're feeling powerful, then stick with it. Keep it up. Keep burning away what we no longer need. And 3, 2, and 1. Set the arms down. Rest a cheek here. Bring the hands alongside the hips. And just shimmy the hips side to side a few times. Nice. Beautiful. We're going to bring the left arm to the right side of the room so that it's underneath our chest here. And then we're going to inhale, bring the right arm across it, bringing it to the left side of the room. So we're making like this X with our arms underneath our body. Tugging the chin here. We're just going to walk the elbows out to either side as needed and open up in the shoulders. Taking nice deep breaths, feeling the support of the mat beneath you as you inhale and exhale. Nice unwinding. We're going to bring our fist onto the ground directly underneath our elbow and off the mat. And just dip one shoulder in at a time. Nice. And we'll bring the right arm to the left side of the room first. And then bringing the left to cross over, making this crisscross. Yeah. Was that the way I did it? Doing it the opposite way. And tucking the chin here. If you can't remember the opposite way, if I messed you up, I'm so sorry. Beautiful. Breathing into the shoulders as they open up. Feeling free to here to Bring a block underneath the forehead for support. Maybe if this is a little tight for you, even just coming onto the elbows here and kind of hugging the self. Beautiful. One more breath. And then we'll slowly unwind. And we're going to bring the hands alongside the hips. And just consciously let the shoulders drop down towards the ground, resting the cheek. Being content in this moment. Not feeling like you need anything to make it better. Nice. We're going to slowly come up to our hands and the knees. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders. Slowly pushing up, walking the knees forward. Nice. So drawing into our core and our knees are about hip width distance apart. We're going to bring the tops of our feet onto the ground. Spreading out through the hands, keeping the neck long. On your next inhale, lift into the hands and hover the knees here. Finding length in the side body, length from the crown to the tail. Drawing the belly button in. Breathing. Feeling the heat in the body. Being thankful to be alive. Cultivating that contentment. And setting the knees down. Nice. We'll walk the hands forward, keeping the knees directly underneath the hips here, coming into puppy pose. Bringing a block underneath the forehead or setting the forehead down onto the earth. Letting the heart drop. Letting the thoughts drop. And just coming back to the breath. Always coming back to the breath. It's such a practice. Like, yeah, we're always breathing, Coco. Duh. We wouldn't be alive. But how often are we aware of our breath? How often do we follow it in and follow it out? 2 more nice deep inhales and exhales here. Nice, gently walking the hands underneath the shoulders and coming up. Beautiful. We're going to curl the toes under here, lift the hips up, find downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet as needed, bending the knees as needed here to take this out of the glutes and the hammies. Again, spreading out through the fingertips. As we lift the hips up and back and drop the head between the arms, the biceps. Shake the head, yes. To cultivating contentment, to choosing peace, and no to judgments and negative stories. Nice. Coming up onto the tiptoes, we'll tiptoe to meet our hands in forward fold. Dropping the head, bringing the hands down to a block or the earth. Bending the knees here is not as much needed. Allowing the ribs to come down towards the thighs. Nice. Beautiful. On our next inhale, we're going to bring the hands up onto the knees, past the knees, up onto the thighs, lift up halfway. Finding length from the tail to the ground, feeling the vertebrae pull away from one another. Finding the core on here as we lengthen and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up, find space. And exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, lift up. And exhale, fold. Rooting down into the feet, we'll rise all the way up. Circling the hands up, bringing the gaze up. And we'll exhale the hands to heart center. Nice, beautiful. Beautiful. Coming to the top of the mat if you aren't there already. We're going to inhale, bring our right foot back, pivoting our feet to the right side of the room. Stacking our left knee, over our left ankle. And then spiraling our belly button towards the front of the room, pulling our left hip crease back as we bring our hands up to heart center in this warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1. Spreading out through all four corners of the feet, not holding on to any gripping here. Nice. One more breath, and we're going to drop the hands here, bringing them to frame the front foot, pivoting on that back knee, and setting that back knee down, coming into a low lunge. Trying to keep that front knee stacked over the front ankle. Maybe walking that back knee out, one knee print here, so that we can allow space for our hips to drop down towards the ground. Taking the stance as wide as you need here. Maybe you need to open up a little bit from side to side to allow more room for your hips. Nice. Beautiful. On your next inhale, coming up onto the thigh, stacking the shoulders over the hips here. Now if this hurts your knee, feeling free to bring a block under the knee, to roll the mat under the knee, to even pop up off that knee. Nice. From here, we're going to bring our left hand to our left hip. We're going to inhale the right hand up, and then exhale, find a little side bend. Spiraling the heart open towards the ceiling here like we did before. One more breath. And exhale, come back to center. Bring the hands down. We're coming into half splits. So sliding the hips towards the back of the room, straightening that front leg. Bringing the block underneath you, we're going to inhale, lift up halfway, finding length in the spine, flexing the foot, and then exhale, we're going to drop the head. Yeah, trying to keep the hips here square to the mat. Always easier said than done, I know. Beautiful. Coming back into that low lunge here. And we're going to place the right hand onto the mat. Inhale, reach the left arm up, find the twist. Drawing the front knee towards the front elbow, drawing everything into midline here. In towards center. Maybe letting the top hand drop a little further behind you. And then coming back to center. Dropping that hand down, coming back to your hands and knees, tabletop. Taking a cat-cow here. And then curling the toes under, pushing back down, you're facing dog. Nice. Walking the feet to meet the hands, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reaching up, the gaze, the hands, the heart. And exhale, bring the hands to kiss above you in prayer. We're going to root down into all four corners of our feet and gently begin to sink our hips down, coming into Utkatasana with our hands overhead, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to Tadasana, say that 3 times fast. I'm bringing the hands alongside the hips, palms facing out towards the front of the room. Recenter here. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Not worrying about the other side we have to do, but just feeling your body. Noticing the sensations. Noticing the breath. Bringing the hands to heart center here. We're going to step the left foot back towards the back of the mat, finding our stride for warrior one. Taking that stride as big as you need so that both feet are plugged into the mat at all four corners of the foot. Nice. Now trying to draw that front knee forward over the ankle. We're going to spiral the ribs towards the front of the room. Staying here, we're opening the arms up. Letting go of any tension, any holding. Breathing into those spaces to find a little relief. Still engaging in that back and front leg here, drawing that front knee forward. Nice. We'll drop the hands down, pivoting on that back foot, setting that back knee down, coming into your low lunge. Extending the crown forward, drawing the right hip crease back. Yeah, maybe even utilizing your block in a different way here. Coming under the hands for support. Nice. Beautiful. Bringing the hands up onto the thighs. We're going to stack the shoulders over the hips here. Beautiful. Bringing the right hand to the hip. Inhale the left hand high. And exhale, find that side body bend as we bring our hand over to the right side of the room. Opening in the chest, the heart. Looking up here for one more breath. And then exhaling, releasing the hands down, finding our half split. Sliding our hips to the back of the room. Flexing that front extended leg. Adjusting your stance as needed. Then inhale, lift up. Find length in the spine as you begin to fold, breathing all the way into the hamstring. Letting go of whatever is not serving you. This idea of a flame keeps popping up in my head, tapas. But it's also like what we put in the fire is what we're burning. It's like if we were at a bonfire and we put plastic or, things that aren't good to breathe in a fire, that doesn't make a good fire. That makes a toxic fire. So what are you choosing to burn in your fire here? Some nice aged wood that you chopped down, figuratively, of course. Maybe literally too, if you're so lucky. But just choosing what we let burn in us. Are we going to let love burn in us or hate? Are we going to let positivity burn in us or negativity? One more breath here, then walk the hands forward. Yeah, nice. Bringing the left hand down. Bringing the right hand up here, finding a twist. Again, coming onto block under the back knee, popping the toes under, popping the knee up. Doing what feels right for you as you open up. Still drawing that front knee forward, the right hip crease back. Nice. One more breath here. And then set that hand down. That knee down. Nice. Coming into hands and knees again. Beautiful. We're going to curl the toes under, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. All right. So we're going to bring the right foot to meet the right hand, setting up for warrior two. Pivoting on that back foot, finding all four corners of the feet integrated into the mat. Cartwheeling the hands open, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Bringing the hands out from front to back of the room. Palms face down, fingers extended, then drop the shoulders away from the ears here. Trying to draw that front knee towards the pinky toe edge so it's not collapsing in. Nice, bring the hands up to the hips, straighten the front knee. Pivot both toes towards the left side of the room. And then we're going to pivot both toes towards the back of the room. Coming into warrior one on the opposite side. Finding even that back foot edge really plugged in. All four corners of the front foot plugged in. Stacking the shoulders over the hips here, trying to draw the tailbone under. Yeah. Taking a drishti over the front fingers, maybe seeing an adorable puppy. Maybe a rainbow, butterflies, whatever. Nice. Bringing the hands to the hips, we're going to straighten that front leg, then turn both toes towards the long edge of the mat here. Turning the toes to the corners of the mat here so that the feet are facing out. We're going to come into goddess pose by bending the knees, bringing the arms up to cactus arms here. Trying to stack the shoulders over the hips. Taking the gaze to the right side of the room. Back through center, into the left side of the room. Nice, center. Drop the hands down. We'll drop the right shoulder towards the center, looking over the left. Inhale, back up to center, and drop the left shoulder down, looking over the right. Inhale, back to center. Nice. And then we're going to slowly bring our hands down. Bring our feet parallel to one another now. Bring the left hand down onto the mat or block in between both feet equally. We'll inhale, reach the right arm up, find a twist, take the gaze to the ceiling. Yeah, and here, like plugging the feet in, finding even the ankles engaged, not locking in the knees. Nice, bringing that right hand down. Switching sides, bringing the left hand up, stacking the shoulders, opening up, drawing the crown forward as the tail goes back. And release down. Nice. We're going to slowly turn our feet again towards the corners of the long edge of the mat. And then slowly sit the hips down, bringing our block underneath us, coming into supported balasana. Supported yogi squat, bringing the elbows to the inside of the knees, pushing the hands towards one another, and dropping the chin to the chest. If it's in your practice today, maybe even dropping the backs of the hands towards one another to stretch in the wrists. I'm just breathing here, opening up. Nice. We're slowly going to release the block and come all the way down to seated. Coming into a butterfly, Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Knees out wide, finding how big or little that diamond shape needs to be. We'll bring our hands to the inside of our feet here, sitting up tall, and just give ourselves a nice little massage. Yeah, maybe in the toes, the bottoms of the feet. Maybe flapping your wings, your knees up and down to bring a little relief. Nice. I'm just being content right here. Beautiful. We'll gently release the legs out, coming into a nice, easy seat. We're going to bring the hands together and begin to rub them together, bringing some friction into the hands, rubbing, rubbing, rubbing. Letting go of whatever's not serving us, burning it away, choosing what fuels our flame, choosing contentment. It's a choice, being present. Keep rubbing, and then we're going to bring the hand to the heart and the belly. Gently closing the eyes or softening the gaze here. We'll come into a little pranayama, a little breath. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Gently releasing up, coming back into your natural breath. Bringing the hands onto the knees, open or closed here. Up to the center, up towards the ceiling, or down onto the knees, And just gently coming back into your natural breath. Taking a moment here just to sit in a moment of observation and reflection. Being here, noticing the judgments, but choosing peace, choosing contentment, choosing to put a little willpower into your day, every day, making your way to your mat or meditation or movement, even when it's hard. We'll gently make our way into our final pose, coming down onto our mat for Savasana, putting on some socks if you need to, grabbing a blanket if you need to, and then just gently letting yourself get super relaxed, nestling the shoulders under, letting the feet splay out. Just dropping into your mat, feeling safe and secure and supported. Taking this final asana of rest and relaxation so that we can feel a little relief and restoration. If the mind wanders, gently coming back to the breath, listening to it, feeling it. Adjusting if you need to adjust in this pose, but trying to not fidget here.
staying in the Savasana as long as you need. Thank you for choosing this video, choosing some health and a little self-care for yourself. I hope you can take this feeling with you